First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper.
Put it in the upper right-hand corner, just like a postage stamp. That's a good bingo.
Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
The Blue Jackets in the midst of a 5-game winning streak after their shootout victory over the Philadelphia Flyers last night at Nationwide Arena. Welcome to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. And Jody, that game last night, to me, if you put that game with the St. Louis game on Saturday, the Blue Jackets are now finding different ways to win games. A lot of the games recently have been these high-scoring, high-flying games. They had to go to St. Louis and grind one out on Saturday. And last night against the Flyers, that wasn't a grind. That was like, going mudding, where you walk in the four-wheel drive and you just hope that you can get through this puddle and this section of mud to get to the next place. That's what it was like last night, but they found a way to do it. Ironically, with John Tortorella on the other bench, Mr. Find a Way, it was the Blue Jackets that did find a way to get it done last night.
Yeah, it's, you're over the halfway point of the season. There looks like there's no or not much indecision, which tells me that they are comfortable and their systems they're playing it's just a natural part of their game. And when I'm between the benches and I hear them communicating on the bench to the players on the ice, the encouragement of, last night wasn't a great start. Philadelphia came out and a lot of play was in the Blue Jackets defensive zone. And they found ways to kind of chip away and not get frustrated, but they understood that they weren't playing their game yet. And to be patient within the game, to get the saves at the right time, those are all important things. And then to figure out that the game isn't 50 minutes long, it's 60 minutes long. And last night, 65 or whatever, 68 it took. That's an important step for a team. There's a lot in there. There's how they have to play and expectations from their peers, for the guys that are on the ice to do what they're supposed to do. A good play getting it out, a good play getting it deep, a hustle to get pucks. Those are all things that they all expect each other to do now. And to win those tight games, the league, it's taking notice. Everywhere I go, I hear, and people want to say, hey, the Blue Jackets. And it's because they play a tough brand of hockey. They won 5 in a row, but now they have superstars because of that. And it's hand in hand. Zach Werenski's a star who's led this team, but he's getting a lot of accolades because of the success of the team and his contribution. So timely goals and the buy-in and the belief, it's something a lot of teams search for and never find.
And another guy that is making his name known in the league is Kirill Marchenko. And you look at some of the plays that he's had in the last 2 games. He sets up Adam Fantilli with a great fake shot pass in St. Louis last night. Gets the puck just inside of the blue line. He could shoot it, and everybody's it looked like Philadelphia was banking on him shooting the puck. And again, makes a great pass across the seam to Zach Werenski for Zach's second goal of the game. So he's really starting to come into himself. Think back 2 years ago, he was a Cy Young winner because he was 14-0, right? He had all goals, no assists. Last year, it seemed to me he was trying too hard to get the puck to other people and kind of say, hey, I can dish it too. This year, he's just done everything.
Well, I don't think his focus is the goals. I think there's a focus of the team game, and then he's finding himself in these spots. He didn't have to do the way he turned away from Fantilli at the blue line, that crisscross play at the blue line last night where he had speed. There's trust in his teammates as well, and then I think there's a little bit of, hey, when you're on the ice with Zach Werenski, I don't care who it is. Corrali was out there last night. He held onto the puck, and he snapped it across the offensive zone. You know where he is at all the time if you're on the ice with him. And I think Marchenko had that play, and as it unfolded and developed, he waited for the defenseman to go down, and he slid it over to Werenski. It's a little take what you're given, but it's also, hey, let's get it over to Zach. And, Zach is on that back door, and if you don't make that pass – and Zach has a goal already and he's that open, you're doing your team and him and yourself a disservice because he's that type of player. And that's fun with the chemistry and the trust and the awareness that they have out there.
Yeah, and they have every bit of that. And when Sean Monahan goes out of the lineup last week, you have to think, man, there's no way they can keep this up. But, yes, they have kept it up. Adam Fantilli's a big part of that.
You know what? He is, and he's earned it. It's been, and I've said it a few times, but there's a process. There's an understanding going into games where you go in and you're like, oh, and especially for a young player, okay, I'm going to score tonight. You know, I got to get the puck, and you go out for a shift and you just play defense, or the puck's not finding you, or you get the puck and you're getting held up, or you're not getting your speed, and then you've created frustration. But when you just go over the boards and play your defensive game and worry about your assignments and worry about winning faceoffs, and then let plays develop, and then when you get those opportunities, which you never know when you're going to get, you try to take advantage of them. But for me, the most impressive play was the pass he made to Zach Werenski a couple games ago, where he had the puck in the slot. He had the opportunity to shoot, but he faked the shot and slid it over to Zach, and Zach's reaction said it all to me. He pointed at him like, hey, yes, that's playing the team game. And it's no fault to Adam Fantilli, the person. It's just the way that young players have played hockey, the way he's always been relied upon to take the puck and make the move and get the goal. In the NHL, it's got to be more reliant on your teammates and open ice, open areas to make that next play. And you have to have the skill to do it and the awareness. And he's taken a step in the offensive zone in my mind, and that's because of his play in the defensive zone.
Yes, absolutely. He is much more of a complete player right now than he was going into training camp, and it is paying dividends for him. Coming up next, we're going to talk with the president of hockey operations and general manager of the Blue Jackets, Don Waddell. He's watching a lot of these young players for the very first time. Yeah, he saw them when he was in Carolina playing against the Hurricanes, but at the beginning of this season, actually back in the summer, he didn't have nearly as much of an idea about the Marchenkos, Sillingers, Johnsons, and Fantillis as he does right now. We'll talk with him about that. And, of course, there's a trade deadline coming up in just a couple of weeks, so we'll talk about that as well as we continue with the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank on 97.1 The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony. I know what you didn't receive as a gift, a new pair of feet. But I know how you can feel like you did. Get to the Good Feet store. That's because they're going to help you eliminate your foot pain. And not by just throwing some insoles into your shoes and sending you on your way. They'll make it very personal. They asked me about my daily activities, the type of pain that brought me in, and they properly measured my feet and arch size. You're not done. It's test walk time. Once you're fitted at the Good Feet store, they're going to put those arch supports right into your own shoes. You can immediately feel the difference they make with every step. And then it's the best time. Start enjoying the comfort immediately. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. The Good Feet store. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through February 3rd, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 6.49 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models with $1,681 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
It all started with a simple cheese coney in 1949. Safe to say, we all fell in love with Skyline chili. Before long, Skylines were popping up all over the place. Now, everywhere you go, Skyline is there too. And who says you can't take it with you? You can even have it shipped from Amazon to Amazon, Montana, or anywhere else in the U.S. Thanks to Skyline lovers everywhere for 75 delicious years.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
You can use your phone to buy tickets to a Blue Jackets game. You can use it to connect with other Fifth Line fans. You can even use it to take a selfie after a goal. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, a bit of a breeze and a cold and dry finish on this Wednesday. Temperatures running near 20. Overnight will fall back down to around 10, wind chills near 0, and some scattered snow showers possible when you wake up. We'll see scattered snow showers mainly in the first part of the day on Thursday, around a half-inch of accumulation. It'll be cloudy and breezy to finish off the day with highs around 30 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody Shelley, and joining us right now is the General Manager and President of Hockey Operations for the Blue Jackets, Don Waddell. And Don, your team is just past the halfway point of the season, and I got to ask you, when you took this job in May, and when you were hiring a coach at the end of June and into July, did you imagine that this team would be performing the way that it is and sitting in a wild card spot at this point of the season?
Well, probably back in June, you're always hoping for the best. Obviously, thinking that you make a few changes that you can make it with coach and a few players we had that you can make an impact. And obviously, as the summer went on, that probably changed with everything that happened. So to be sitting here right now, I think we're 3 or 4 games over 500. We have to be extremely pleased with. The guys have done a great job. What I'm most proud of is how the guys have come together as a group, and to me, that's your leaders. Even with Boone and Goody out of the lineup, they still are around all the time, but I can't say enough about Z and Monahan and Olivier have taken that step to really bring these guys together.
And that's really a great point, because if you go back to the tragedy with Johnny Gaudreau, you lose your best player right there. Boone Jenner gets hurt before the season starts. Your captain hasn't even played a game this year. And it's just like life, right? When you get challenged with adversity, you really find out about people and who they truly are and how they handle it. And this group has done it all in the right way.
Yeah, 100%. You know, what I said to the players at the beginning of the year there was, you know, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, so don't feel sorry for ourselves. So let's go out and make the best of it. And, you know, I always go back to what Meredith said at the funeral and here at our first home game. You know, Johnny wants you to go play hockey. I want you to go play hockey. Go play hockey. And that is something that I've continued to talk about and express. And, you know, again, the players have, you know, the emotions are still there, of course. You just don't get over these things. But when it comes to playing the games, they've done a good job of putting everything behind them and going out and doing what we need to do to win games.
I know. I don't know how it is for you, Jody, and I know you get around the league a lot more than I do. But even the people that I talk to, there are so many people outside of here that are surprised by what the Blue Jackets are doing and where they are in the standings. And I tell them all the same thing. I say, if you were around these guys every day, you wouldn't be surprised, because you see the way they work, you see the way that they're dedicated, you see the way they get along with one another. And do you agree with that, Don? When you're watching this group every day and you see them succeed, it doesn't come as one bit of a surprise.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And you know, Jody played for a long time. There's no I in this team. You know, it's a team-first mentality. And, you know, Dean's done a great job, him and his staff, of instilling that in them. You know, there's the reward. Nobody's going to reward individually unless we have team success. So team obviously comes first.
But when you look at what you've done here, you must have a good philosophy, because you've got a hardworking team and you have a team that's come together. What has gone into that? You pick up LeBanc, you pick up Aston Reese, you pick up Fabro. Like, these are good pickups that fit in really well.
Well, the big thing is they're all good people. You know, we wanted to make sure JVR's in that group too. You know, that we needed hockey players. We know what they do on the ice, but we wanted to make sure we brought in all good people. And I think that was key, especially every year, but this year even more importantly. So, you know, all the guys you mentioned, they fit in well. They all play a different role, but they all play a role that led us to our success. But most importantly, again, you know, with the group of guys that we already had here, we want to continue to add good people in that locker room.
I want to go to JVR as an example, because I know him very well. He's a thinker, and he can be an overthinker. And he was out of the lineup for a while. But if you sit down and talk to him and watch how he plays and hear how he thinks the game, there's a different level of impact there. And I'm wondering, do you have a relationship with him, and how does that work? How did he get going here? Was there behind-the-scenes conversations?
Yeah, you know, I've known JVR for a long time. I had his brother for years in Carolina. You know, they're good people, but, you know, everybody talks about JVR's speed.
Right.
You know, forget about that. You know, you don't replace his smarts and his hockey sense. And, you know, he goes to the net. He's got a good nose for where to be on the ice. You know, his smarts makes up for his speed. And, you know, we're not all going to have Chinnikov's type speed on our hockey team. You're going to have some guys that are going to be faster and slower, but it's how they play the game. And, you know, I can't say enough good things how JVR has come in here, handled the adversity of being out of the lineup, and then once getting that back in the lineup, showing that he deserves to be in the lineup on an every regular basis.
And I think that's why I said use him as an example, because, you know, when you look around the league, the smart players know when and how to slow the game down. And I don't mean like just Kucherov level, where he just plays always in that one. He slows it down to a point where he just takes the advantage. Monahan's the same way. You know, he might not win that foot race end to end, but boy, he's in the right place.
Yeah. And, you know, we always talk about speed, but let's talk about smarts.
Right.
You know, if you got smarts in this game in hockey sense, and you see it with both those guys, the ability to make plays and be in the right spot is probably the most important thing. You know, knowing where to go on the ice when the situation's happening. And, you know, you can have all the speed in the world, but if you don't know where to be, you're not going to have the results that these guys are having.
Talking with Don Waddell, Blue Jackets general manager. And one more thing about that group, because, again, you brought them all in late. JVR, LeBanc, Zach Aston Reese. In the past, we would see guys that maybe in those situations, somebody gets hurt, there would be a young guy that would come up from Cleveland, and maybe a guy that's not quite ready yet. Were you tempted to do that at all, or was your mindset that, hey, look, our young players have got to go to Cleveland and they've got to develop, and I'm going to go find some guys that have some NHL experience for this group?
I think 100% that the experience was a big factor for us because we have a lot of good young players already on the roster. And, we had to give them support with veteran players and good veteran players. I had the ability to watch Cleveland quite a few times last year in the playoffs once I got the job here. And, talking to Clarke and Nasher and, everybody that was involved in Cleveland, we kind of knew where most of these guys were, that they needed some more time. The one prime example is Matejchuk. Matejchuk probably could have made this team out of training camp. Let's just face it. But, we thought the best for Denton was to go down and play games in the American League, get some, 30-some games under his belt. And when we have the right situation, it had to be timing, too. The right situation, then once we give them an opportunity, because the one thing you don't want to do with these young guys is bounce them in and out of the lineup once they get here, because they're not going to grow their game at all. But in Denton's case, we were very comfortable that once he came up, that he would be here on a regular basis, and he's proven that he's going to be.
Why was it Christmas? Was it that timing in the calendar, or was it the situation with the team?
I think more situation with the team. Yeah. We went through a few injuries there, and things didn't go as well as we were hoping they're going. And give him credit, because he went down to Cleveland, and obviously I think he was Player of the Month. He made the All-Star team. There was no calls from his agent saying what's he doing down there. Nothing like that. He just went out and played every night. And he's the kind of guys that you want to keep in this organization and continue to build around. But so as much as we had the opportunity, he deserved the opportunity.
Another guy that falls into that category really is Mikhail Putia. He made the team out of camp. He stayed here. You did send him back to Cleveland for a short stint. And he's the kind of guy that, I don't mean this as an insult to him at all, but he's kind of forgettable right now because he plays on the fourth line. He just goes out. He simply does his job. And he's a very good defensive player. We've seen his shot. We've seen that he can score goals. And this is a guy where we talked, Jody, for the last couple of years about all the young guys in the organization. His name really wasn't on the list, but what have you thought about the job he's done?
Well, he's the kind of player who goes underneath the radar because he's not going to get a lot of points. But you see Dean uses him on penalty kill, and he was out there the other night in the last minute of the game. As you said, he's a very responsible player. He's not a flashy player. He's scored a couple of nice goals for us along the way here, but he knows how to play the game. Some of the young guys, it takes them a longer time. In his case, once he got that opportunity here, he's fit right in and done a good job for us.
Yesterday, you gave Zach Aston Reese, or a couple of days ago, you gave him a contract extension. This is a guy you've had your eye on for some time. Even when you were in Carolina, you tried to get him in Carolina. It didn't work out for you. The moment you saw that he was on waivers at the end of training camp, how important was it for you to get this guy into this organization and see if he was the player that you thought that he was and if he would fit?
Yeah, no, once, we were talking to a lot of teams at that time, training camp, about who's going to be available and all that. And, the biggest thing when you go on waivers, you always wait to see if somebody's going to take him in front of you. That was my biggest worry. But I had pretty good knowledge of Zach and what he could bring to a team. Again, he's not going to score a lot of goals. He's not going to be a flashy guy, but he's a very responsible player, kills penalties, forechecks well, skates very well. So, when you're talking about building a team, you can't build a team with 20 stars. Let's just face it. You got to have role players, and certainly Zach, the role he plays, has done a good job for us and deserved the reward of a contract extension.
The makeup of the room is so important, and you've got a character there who doesn't speak English in Voronkov, who seems to galvanize that room. I mean, it must just be a treasure for you to have a guy like this on this roster.
He's unbelievable. I love talking to him because I know he understands everything we're saying, but he just doesn't want to admit it, and he doesn't want to really talk a whole lot back. I try to break him down once in a while, and but as you said, the guys love him, and hopefully his English will continue to improve. It's got to improve. Can't get any worse. But no, you're right. He's always got a smile on his face. He comes to the arena. He's happy every day, and you want players that want to be here, and certainly I feel like he's a guy that wants to be a Blue Jacket, and we're happy to have him.
In just around 3 weeks, there's a break in the schedule. And do they shut down the league for trades and all that during that?
They don't. They don't shut down for trades. It's there's some rules on call-ups. You can send guys down, of course, the guys that can go down prior to the deadline, but no rules, restrictions on trades.
Because I'm wondering now, first-year general manager with a new team, expectations were not there, but you have a team now that's on that playoff line. So for you got to look at this, and after the break, you only have 10 days till the trade deadline. So we appreciate your time. We understand you're probably busy, but what situation does that put you in? I mean,
well, I've said we can't change our course too much. Doesn't mean we can't change a little bit, but we got to realize where we're at and where we're headed. And we continue. We know we got a lot of good pieces, but we don't have enough good pieces. So we got to make sure that we make some good decisions. What we're not going to do is just give guys away. Somebody offers a 5th-round pick for a player. It doesn't make any sense. But if there's something substantial there, we're going to have to take a hard look at it. I'm not going to say 100%. We're still in some negotiations with some of the free agents about extending them anyways. So that may all happen before that. But I think we got to be smart about decisions we make around the deadline for sure, because our future certainly is today, but as we continue to build this thing with the players that we have, we got to make sure we watch out for the future too.
And there's a lot of big names on some teams that are in a little bit of flux right now. Are you in on any of those?
You try to be in all of them. That's the whole idea. A couple things. You like to hear the names being bannered around because they may not get traded today, but probably they're going to get traded at some point. So you try to stay. I spend half my day just touching base with guys, and like all of us, I work with a couple GMs in the West because a lot of times guys being shopped in the East, I won't hear about. They might want to trade them to you. So. And the same with the teams in the West. They may not hear names. So you have a couple of your counterparts that you trust, that you share your notes on a regular basis to see who might be available out there.
That's good. That's exciting, and it's got to be exciting for you. And the Stanley Cup is a long ways away, but getting in the playoffs, anything can happen, especially when you have a team that's galvanized, and as you said, there's no I in that team. Those are important factors for winning.
Yeah, and for our young players, I started off probably saying, we want to play meaningful games in March, and hopefully we'll be at that point. And if you do find a way to get in, these are, as you know, playoff hockey is so much different, and it takes a process for these young players to learn that. So any kind of experience you can get that will be very welcome, that's for sure.
I'm amazed at what Vegas has done. And, do you look at them? Because I look at who they have in their lineup, and I think, how? Mm-hmm. How do they do it? But they just move on things. And are you kind of – is that a way – and you have other GMs that say, we're 4 years away, we're 5 years away. And how do you look at their approach and think, wow, is that something GM should learn from, you think?
Yeah, Kelly started with George, and then Kelly took over there at McCrimmon, and they're very aggressive of going after some stars. They got Hurdle at the deadline last year, and get Eichel when they got him. There were some doubts about his neck and everything else, and they felt it was good risk. Getting Stone, they've gone out and been very aggressive to get big players, and their big players are big players. So I like their aggressiveness for sure. It's their window is now. They've won now, and they got this window right now. The next probably 3 or 4 years that they're going to be all in to try to win. And we've seen it before with teams that you go back and the Chicago's that won 3 out of 5 years, and they had to go through a complete rebuild. the Kings had some success and then had to go through it. Every team, because to win a cup is hard, and you have to be all in when it's time to go all in. And certainly what Vegas has done is pretty amazing, and I give them so much credit for being able to keep this going like they have.
Tonight, we're talking to Don Waddell, Blue Jackets president of hockey operations and general manager. We're going to talk more in just a minute here, but I want to tell you that on Thursday, February 6th, it is Margaritaville night presented by Visit Central Florida at Nationwide Arena. Now, on a day like today, it doesn't feel like Margaritaville, right? It's just cold and snowy and brutal, quite frankly. So look ahead to this day on February the 6th. The Blue Jackets will be taking on the Utah Hockey Club, and you can get a limited edition Hawaiian shirt right now. They are in limited supply. So go to bluejackets.com/Margaritaville. Close your eyes, feel the sun, think of the warmth, get your Hawaiian shirt. Actually, get your Hawaiian shirt, put it on, and then close your eyes and think about the sun and the warmth, however you want to do it. Go to bluejackets.com. More coming up with Don Waddell as we continue with the Inside Edge right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
That's are us when dreams sunk in. That's are us. No more mess, no more dust. Transform your bathroom by That's are us. Immerse yourself in luxury. So fresh and so clean. Your personal oasis just as you dream. That's are us when dreams sunk in. That's are.
Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com.
At Byers Volkswagen, we believe in giving you options. From browsing to buying, shop entirely online at columbusvw.com. Or if you prefer a personal touch, visit us by the airport and work with our friendly brand specialists. Right now, get a 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan for 0% for 60 months. Online or in person, your exceptional car buying experience awaits at Byers Volkswagen. Visit columbusvw.com or stop by today. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers. Offer good on new 2024 Tiguan models. Offered to highly qualified customers who finance through Volkswagen Credit for up to 60 months. See dealer for details. Offer ends 3/3/2025.
Rothman and Ice.
You can't keep wasting these years of Trey Hendrickson when he's one of the best pass rushers in the sport. Now he's 30. How many more of these seasons does he have?
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and are you ready for this? 5 weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss, and I'm already down 30 pounds. 5 more pounds just last week. I'm no mathematician. I will leave that to my wife, but 30 pounds, 5 weeks. Isn't that an average of just about 6 pounds a week? So far, I'd say Awaken 180 was everything it was cracked up to be and more. The guys talked about coaching, and my Awaken 180 coach, Natalie, she's the reason why this is so easy. We all know that I need to stay up for the games. I told her that, and she changed the program on me. Brandon, make sure to have this at it for an after-dinner snack. And also add an extra tablespoon of healthy fat, some delicious olive oil. So I did, and I'd say 5 more pounds down last week, and it did the trick. If I say I'm hungry at this time, she fixes it. If I have cravings at this time, she fixes it. There's no guesswork with Awaken 180. You eat, listen to your coach, go about your everyday routine, and the weight simply falls off. Sounds too good to be true, but it isn't. Do what we all did and lose your weight for the last time. Visit them online at awaken180weightloss.com. Again, that's awaken180weightloss.com.
Through the magic of modern technology, I'm coming to you from inside your garbage disposal.
Hey, what are you doing down here?
I was telling folks about Who are you?
Garbage disposal monster. I eat the things people put in here. Nom 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 nom.
Oh?
Sometimes I get sick.
I was just about to say, the pros who knows from Apex are brilliant at fixing garbage disposals. You're really a monster?
Look here. These teeth, they're all busted.
Oh.
They're for food, not forks. You hear up there?
Gee, what else?
Crazy noises like clingety, 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 clingety. Call Apex Pros.
Sure.
Sometimes I smell funny.
I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Call Apex Pros.
And what's going on now there?
Smoking. It's a bad habit. We're not supposed to smoke.
Well, you heard it straight from the garbage disposal monster. Call the pros who knows. Apex Pros.
Hi, it's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Nom 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 nom.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge here on 97.1 The Fan. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody Shelley, and we're talking with Blue Jackets General Manager and President of Hockey Operations, Don Waddell. One guy we haven't talked about, Don, and how we haven't to this point is amazing, is Zach Werenski.
Oh, we talk about him all the time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, maybe it was due for him to be out of a conversation. But I mean, look, not just the season that he is having. He's also going to represent the United States in the Four Nations tournament. You're obviously a huge USA Hockey guy. Have been for a long, long time. In addition to what he's doing for your club, how proud are you of the fact that he should be a very important part of Team USA here in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, no, I'm very proud of him. And right from the start of training camp, him and I had a conversation about it. And it's every player's goal to try to represent your country. And certainly, he was hoping that he'd have a good start to be able to earn a spot there. And there's no doubt he has. I was watching a show yesterday on NHL Network, and they were praising Werenski for the Norris Trophy, which, and probably in Columbus, I don't get those talks too much about star players like that. And then what does he do? He goes out and scores 2 goals and should have had a third in overtime. But, he's having that type of season where he's getting the recognition, well-deserved. And, I don't know where we'd be without him. You think about all the big goals he scored for us. And the kick I always get is he's got the puck, and before you know it, he's behind the team's offensive net, and then the puck turns over, and all of a sudden he's back. It's just you see on that breakaway last night or a game against Philadelphia. He had that extra step, because he's such a smooth. He looks like he's effortless when he's skating. And when he had to spring himself for that breakaway, he just took that little extra pop and he just pulled away from him. So he's just a special player. And I can't say enough about his leadership, too. He's been really good in the locker room. And we're very, very fortunate to have him tied up, not just this year, but for a few more years.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the leadership aspect of it because Zach has always been the kind of player that, he's been around. He's a true Blue Jacket, but Boone Jenner is the captain, and Zach is okay with being
a supporter.
A supporter. That's absolutely right. But without Boone Jenner, Zach has really stepped into the spotlight, and I think he's handled it extremely well.
Yeah, no, I can't say enough again. I mentioned 3 guys, but there's been a lot of guys. But Monahan, Z, and Olivier have really been the guys that have brought this group together, have kept them together. And, you need that. I mean, Jody, you played for a long time. If you have a split locker room, it's just not going to work. And right now, this locker room is very close. They hang out a lot together. They do a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of team building stuff. So, to me, what we have going on right now, not just on the ice but off the ice, is very rewarding for the guys.
Isn't that unique with your leadership, though? Because we've all been in situations where we've been supporters, and until you're thrust into that light where you have to step up to the mic after the game and say something about your team, and once you do and you go home and you show up the next day and everybody's heard it, now you have to be the guy to show and do it. And I don't know how it is for you. Maybe you've been in those roles where it's been like, everyone supports and you support the captain and the message. But when you have to do it yourself like you're doing now, well, you got to back it up, too.
Yeah, 100%. And the real example is Olivier, because, last few years, he's playing 8-9 minutes a night. mostly out there to stir things up and that. And, him and I have had lots of talks. And, when you're doing that, it's hard to be a leader on your team because you're not playing as much. And so now when he's playing 14, 15, 16 minutes and contributing offensively and still doing his thing physically, now he's got that opportunity to step up in the locker room, and he's going to back it up, whatever he says, too. So, again, him and Z and Monty and the other guy that's taken a step from that role is Marchie. Marchie's, he's a guy that you guys know him, watch him over the years. I mean, his 200-foot game is pretty darn good, and he's not overly physical, but he knows how to use his big body to rub guys off and position himself. You see how many times he gets opportunities to score by using his body to shield it from the other player. He's not only having tremendous years, but I've seen him take steps up from in the locker room also.
That's a great contract you signed with him.
I wish it was longer.
That's what I was going to say to you. When you were doing those deals with these guys, the Sillingers, Johnsons, Marchenkos, and really didn't know. I mean, you can look at stats and all that stuff, but I mean, you hadn't been here to watch them play each and every day, so you were kind of at a disadvantage. As you look at them now, what do you think about it?
Yeah, you take input. We had a lot of good people here that had input into it. So, but there were some question marks, and we all knew he could score, but was he? How committed was he? And after watching him play the first even 5-6 games, I said, wow, he's better than I thought he was. And
bring him back to the table and extend.
So that was any time with these young players, I think contracts play a big role in young players, because players today. It's all about points to get your contracts. We have a lot of young guys, and I've told all these young guys, Fantilli went through a little bit where he started off the year playing 18, 19 minutes, and his ice time got cut down. And our talks with him was, get back to playing 200 feet. If you can play 200-foot game, you're going to get more ice time, which is going to give you more opportunity offensively. You're going to make a lot of money in your career. Him and Ken Johnson, they're all going to make a lot of money in their career. It doesn't have to be their first contract, but to get to that point, though, you got to learn to play the 200-foot game.
He's a great example, I think. He's had a good couple weeks here.
Yes.
And have you been through that with a player before? And that's, of course you have. But have you? I mean, it's hard for them to grasp it, but he seems like he's starting to grasp it.
Yeah, 100%. And you forget how young he is. I think he's 20 years old now, or whatever he is. Second year in the league. So, I've seen it for 10 years. Probably the last 10 years more than any time, that the young players get focused too much on points. And we got to get them off that. If they're a highly skilled guy, they're going to get their points and they're going to earn their money down the road. But to learn the game correctly, you got to be able to play in all areas of the game. And certainly, Adam had some tough few weeks there, but he's responded, and you see every night now, where he used to maybe leak around in front of the net and not get his guy, that his coverage. And I pay attention probably to him and a few other guys like that more than others, because I know that he can do it. It's just he gets drifted because he's looking for that offensive side of the puck going the other way, and when he does it defensively, it still creates opportunities for him offensively.
Is that a conversation you had with him specifically?
Yeah, with Adam, I had a couple conversations with him. Again, it's not going around Dean. Dean and I talk about it all the time. It's just I'm around the room, more than I probably have been. I've always been wanting to be around the room, but in the morning, when the guys are having their coffee, having their breakfast, I like to just check in on them, just see how their families are, see how everybody's doing. And with Adam, it was not a sit down forum. I just said, hey, if you're playing 200 feet, you're going to get more opportunities with Dean. And so those kind of conversations.
I think as a player that would be so important, because you do think talks to his parents, talk to his agents, talk to his friends. Not sure what the coach wants him to do, and then when you hear it and you feel like you're a part of it and there's a plan, that's got to be, maybe that's helped him settle in. I think it would as a player. That's a great approach.
Yeah, because a lot of times you talk to their agents, agents call you and say, what's going on?
Yeah.
What can I tell my player? Well, you can tell your player this, but why don't I just tell the player?
Right.
It's communication. And again, if I was walking in the room once every couple of weeks and they're saying, okay, Don's here, somebody's getting traded or sent down, but when you're around every day, it just becomes a daily habit. So, there's lots of guys you have small conversations with. And again, I don't get into ice time. I don't get any, they want to be in the power play, penalty kill, and go see Dean, because there's a fine line there. And that's the good thing about Dean. Dean and I meet every day and talk about what's going on in the locker room, and if you need some help someplace, when we're sitting some guys out, maybe it was time to sit down and talk to some of the guys. But no, I think we got a good mix here and continue to go in the right direction.
All right, 2 quick things for you before we let you go. Number one, how soon are we going to see Boone Jenner back in the lineup?
I would say sometime right after the Four Nations break. He's going out to the doctor here the next week or so to get hopefully fully released for contact, and then we want to get him in a couple good weeks of practices. But if everything continues on the path he's going, I would say right after the Four Nation tournament.
I told him the other day I knew you would be back for the outdoor game, and he just laughed and he said, "We'll see." And that's the last thing I want to ask you about is the outdoor game. You were part of one in Carolina. You're going to be part of one again here at Ohio Stadium. For the people in Columbus and Central Ohio, this is a first, obviously. And I think the thing that's great about it, and I know it's still a couple of weeks away, but I mean it's a game that could have big meaning with Detroit chasing you right now in the standings. So you want to play outside. It's great. It's a great spectacle, but you want it to be a meaningful game as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's, first of all, I've been to all the big events and Super Bowls and everything else, and what I experienced being part of it in Carolina, the NHL does a tremendous job with these events, tremendous. So the experience for the people is going to be, I think it'll be something that they'll remember forever. Now you go to a game that means something. It's not like going to an all-star game where there's no hitting, all that. It's a game that means 2 points in the standings, and Detroit's obviously playing well right now, and we're playing well. So there's no doubt when that game comes on, it's interesting scheduling because we played a couple nights before in Detroit, and then come here for the outdoor game, and so those are 4 big points coming up there as you look in the schedule going forward.
Are you a little bit concerned about getting out of this building to play a home game because you've been tremendous here?
Yeah. Why would you bring that up? I haven't thought about that. I don't know. I think it's important. We'll probably have to do more than skate here because we probably won't be able to. So we'll act like we're playing at Nationwide Arena.
All right, whatever it takes. We've already learned from you. You're whatever it takes guy anyhow throughout this conversation. Don, thank you so much for taking the time for us today. We really do appreciate it, and best of luck with all the hard work that you've got coming up over the next couple of weeks, and hoping to guide this team to the playoff spot at once.
Great. Always appreciate being with you guys. Thank you.
All right, Don Waddell, President of Hockey Operations and General Manager of the Blue Jackets. We'll come back and wrap up this week's Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Now through February 3rd, get a great lease deal or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 or 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or get 4.99 APR financing on remaining new 24 Tacomas and new 25s. With approved credit through TFS. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter models. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Get yourself Toyota ready. Toyota, let's go places.
Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate? Schmidt's can cater your championship party and take the hassle off your hands. We're talking our world-famous Bahama Mamas, German potato salad, bratwurst, and those irresistible cream puffs. We'll even deliver and set it up for you. Or come visit our carryout at the restaurant and grab some to cook up at home. Either way, the favorite pregame meal is with Schmidt's. Order your Schmidtgate pregame meal at schmidthaus.com. That's schmidthaus.com. Schmidt's, real German food.
Hey, can we talk? It's a new year and I need to move on. We had a great run, but you're old now. So I'm trading you in at Great Lakes Kia.
And new Kias are under $5 a day.
That's less than lunch.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All 3 under $5 a day. at Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
Yes, new 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day.
That Kia Sorrento is hot.
And we've got 0% financing.
But what if I'm not good enough for credit?
If you've got a job, you ride.
Under $5 a day.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. GreatLakesKia.com. Want to take it for a test drive?
Oh, he needs to meet my parents first. To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
It's the moments we've all been waiting for. The Buckeyes playing Notre Dame for the Natty. 18 hours of live coverage starts Monday at 6 with Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Logan Services.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Need to tackle your next big project? Choose Ohio Cat for unbeatable construction equipment. From bulldozers to excavators, Ohio Cat delivers power, precision, and performance with the quality you expect. And with our one-stop rental shop, you get top-notch equipment with a long-term commitment. Whether it's a quick job or a major build, if you need it, Ohio Cat rents it. Visit ohiocat.com to explore our equipment options and make your next project a success. Ohio Cat, proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper. Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Head down to the Arena District, your hockey headquarters. Catch some action on the ice at Nationwide Arena or watch the game at one of the Arena District's 20 bars and restaurants. The Arena District is rocking nightly with live entertainment, awesome specials, and convenient parking. Live it up by coming early or staying late. The Arena District is the place to play, meet, eat, and celebrate. Get your game plan on at arenadistrict.com with a complete list of bars, restaurants, concerts, and game schedules. Go Jackets!
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Gather your game day crew and head down to Nationwide Arena and watch the Blue Jackets play. Now, if you happen to be a part of a group that is 10 or more, really, that's not a lot, quite frankly. You can get 10 people in your family. You can get 10 people in a friend group. You can get 10 people at work. 10 is the magic number because you become instantly eligible for special savings, experiences, and hospitality. What does all that mean? Well, find out. Just go to bluejackets.com/groups. You'll get all the information you need. So find 9 people. It's not that hard. Find 9 people and bring them out to Nationwide Arena and get treated in style as you watch the Blue Jackets play. This is the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank, and I'm Bob McElligott along with Jody Shelley. Jody, Don Waddell, very open. We talked with him about the communication that he has with the players, also the communication that he just had with us and with the fans. You know, it's been talked about. He is not one that you'd be surprised to see in the concourse during an intermission, walking around and just talking to people. That's his personality, and that has really resonated with this organization.
You know, it's refreshing to talk to Don and get the updates because I thought in that interview we could have kept going and there's more to talk about. And he's not hesitant to tell us situations that are happening with the team. And I think that's refreshing for the players, and I think it's refreshing for the fans and for us. So, you know, you can tell he's got the pulse of the team. You can tell his philosophy. I loved his assessment of the players we went through with him, and he's done a good job here, and I love the fact that he's not afraid to make a move. He's in on everything. He wants to be in on everything, and you put yourself in this position right now. Oh wow, he's got to make some tough decisions, and that's good. And it sounds like they'll be calculated. But I brought up the Vegas thing because they pull the trigger. I heard they might be in on JT Miller. You wonder how.
You do for about a second.
You wonder.
Then you look at what they've done with the Eichel trade, the Stone trade.
Where would he fit in? I don't know. Maybe they get rid of Hurdle, but it's like they're not married to players, and the ones they are, if they have to move them to make the team better, they'll do it. And you kind of get that sense with Waddell too. There's players that, of course, he's not going to move, but there's players in the league that if it's an upgrade and it's a position and there's something that would help, it sounds like he's in on it.
Well, yeah, and just look what he did in Carolina when he was there. I mean, there's some guys that are in Carolina. Brent Burns is in Carolina. When that happened, I went, what?
Yeah.
That's just one example. So, yes, I agree with you on that. You look at the Blue Jackets schedule coming up. You've got San Jose here tomorrow night. Go to New York, play the Rangers on Saturday, play the Islanders on Monday. Look, those are 3 winnable games for this team. There's no question about that. Then you got to continue on to go to Toronto and Carolina in a back-to-back. But, is this team, if they could just keep going one game at a time, they're sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's a game they are not able to win. Some games have to be a perfect storm. They're going to need the goaltender to be outstanding in some games. They're going to need depth players to score in some games. That's just the way it is, 82-game schedule. But for these guys to see where they're at, for these guys to play meaningful games, Werenski hasn't played a meaningful game in a long time. Corrali, a lot of guys that have been here. And then the new guys that are here, well, they're just playing hockey. There's guys here that just have played hockey. When Werenski came in, he was used to being a winner, and it continued for his NHL career. And then now it's taken a dip. These guys want to be in this position, and everybody in the East is in it. That's why these games are going to get tighter. They're going to get more meaningful, and every team that's within 4 or 5 points wants to stay there. So right now, a lot of teams are chasing the Blue Jackets. They want that spot, and I think the Blue Jackets know that, so that the urgency in practice, in off days, in everything they do, it's gone up.
Players believe. These players believe. You see it when you talk to them, and you're right. It's a great sign, because for the last couple of seasons, by this point, I forget who was talking yesterday prior to the game. Oh, I was talking to Cole Sillinger, and he said, well, last year by this time we really weren't playing for anything. No, they weren't. And it was much earlier than this time last year. So, yeah, this is nice. This is fun for everybody.
Oh, yeah. It's why you play, and you get through those first 10 games. They had, I thought they found out what they were early, and that's been their advantage.
Yes, indeed. So their identity they came into, now they've got a little bit of experience. We were talking in the first segment about winning tight games now. You just said the way the East is, look for everything to be tight for a long time. Tight. That's the way it's going to be. All right, Jody, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That is Jody Shelley. I'm Bob McElligott. Thanks to Don Waddell for joining us on tonight's show. This has been the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems in Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com, or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
Hey, it's Anthony. I know what you didn't receive as a gift, a new pair of feet. But I know how you can feel like you did. Get to the Good Feet store. That's because they're going to help you eliminate your foot pain. And not by just throwing some insoles into your shoes and sending you on your way. They'll make it very personal. They asked me about my daily activities, the type of pain that brought me in, and they properly measured my feet and arch size. You're not done. It's test walk time. Once you're fitted at the Good Feet store, they're going to put those arch supports right into your own shoes. You can immediately feel the difference they make with every step. And then it's the best time. Start enjoying the comfort immediately. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. The Good Feet store. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown